let's just jump right into this because I really want to help you. And I know what you're experiencing right now. You feel this emptiness, you feel this hollowness, and then meanwhile, you're not really doing much at all. You can't. You sit down and just poof, nothing. And this is when you'll say that you're experiencing what you would call an art block. Does this sound like you? And so I want to expose a lot of issues with how you think about art block and the entire concept of it while you watch me draw this today. And I want to represent it to you in a really easy, digestible way so that you can get better. And so I'm going to break that down into these 4 easy to follow sections. We're going to take a look at what art block is, what causes it, how to combat it, and then also how to create a life where you never feel art blocked again. Wouldn't that be great? And so at the outset of this, friend, what we need to do is we need to identify a main core issue with this topic, which is what is art block? Because honestly, it's entirely undefined. And I know how you're feeling about this. You're like, well, Sean, I can't actually make anything. I can't create. And so this would be like if you went to the doctor because you were feeling sick and then they just gave you back a diagnosis of you have the sniffles. Art block is a symptom of a greater issue. This is a human block. And so whenever I really dive deep into people that say that like they can't create or they don't want to be an artist or they're just giving up, it's never about art. It's always about a greater emotional, psychosocial reason for why they are feeling the way that they are. And so what the real issue is that you have an energy management crisis. There it is. So what I mean by that is, and let's just take a look at this through a really easy to follow example. So y'all have probably played a Zelda game at some point in your life, right? Well, check it out. You have heart containers, but this is how your energy management as an artist works as well. And so when you have less hearts, when you have a smaller amount that have been depleted and you're sitting there in that final heart or half a heart, right? Then you have what's called burnout. You don't have a lot of energy. Your body kind of goes into this like artistic fight or flight mode. And then if you have not quite full, but you have a decent amount of heart containers, then this is what you would call productive. This is what you would call stable. You're able to actually do things that you want to do. And then in a greater circumstance, if you have an excessive amount of hearts, this is kind of like in Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, where you can get extra gold heart containers, right? This is when you feel inspired. This is when you are just absolutely on creative fire. You know what I mean? You ever felt that way or seen other people? This is how they're able to do it. And so I don't want to keep this elusive. I want to be very specific. What's eating away at your heart containers and what is going to give you more of them so that you can expand? And so I made this really helpful handout so that you can help diagnose yourself as we go through this video and then even after it so that you can use this to help bring yourself out of this feeling of art block. So now let's take a look at what's actually aggravating or on the other hand, what's going to bring you out of this. Moving on, let's take a look at what's completely sucking all the artistic energy out of you. Why do you really feel this way? And so I'm going to separate this into energy drains and energy gains. And so to start this off, let's start with your energy drains. And stay with me on this because I'm going to teach you how to combat every single one of these today. So there are 3 main categories of energy drains. The first one is going to be physiological. As far as physiological concerns go, if I put this again into a Zelda context, this is going to knock you off somewhere between like 1 heart container to a half a heart container. And they're also the easiest to fix. And these would be things relating to your health and your overall physical wellness, okay? So on that note, how's your sleep? If you're completely devoid of sleep and you're lacking a lot, yes, you are going to feel art blocked because your body literally doesn't have the energy that it needs. And then another thing too is your mobility. Are you a person right now who wakes up and you go to work where you sit down at a desk and then you come home and you sit down on a couch and then as a nightcap, you go ahead and you sit down at a computer chair? You're literally causing the same chemicals in your body that produce anxiety and depression because your body is not moving. Next, also, anything that you're doing as far as what you're intaking into your body. I'm talking about your food right now. Are you somebody who's always getting fast food? Are you somebody that only eats prepackaged stuff? Are you somebody who only eats takeout? Next, another one that you don't think about is, are you a shut-in? Are you literally just going from you talking to nobody to your job where you are maybe working remotely, and then you get off that and you barely have any interactions. And just to put this into perspective for you, y'all, if you didn't know this, we are tribal beings. We are meant for socialization. And so just to prove the need for socialization, I want to let you know about a study that was conducted in the 40s, which I just want to let you know at the outset was a little inhumane here. But basically, scientists wanted to study what would happen when they separated infants from their mothers and what the longitudinal effects would be. And so the nurses were told to only address the infants, the newborns, if they cried. They were to tend to them and do nothing else. Not hold them, coddle them, play with them, nothing. Just take care of their needs, put them back down. The study was shut down when all of the infants started to pass away from this one. And while that is extremely inhumane, and God, I hope that that never happens again, my point is that this proves why you need socialization. If you're not addressing these physiological concerns, these are some of the easiest things to address. Now, the second category, you might not think about this one, but honestly, your creative endeavors do take a lot of energy from you, and I can't discount that, and I would be unrealistic if I said to you that your creativity only gives it to you. We'll take a look at how it does, and I'll discuss that in a moment. But for now, please just understand this. These things are going to take away somewhere between 1 and 2 heart containers from you, and so, just to go ahead and put it out there, any form of drawing, painting, creating, it is a huge mental load that you exert. Is it only taking from you? No, we'll discuss that later. But for now, please just understand that any form of creative act is a very energy demanding form. And then that also ties itself into learning. Anything that you're doing to learn anything that you're doing in order to challenge yourself on that is always going to take away a lot of energy from you. It's a lot of load on your brain to have to do new things. And this is why you feel stupid when you do new things, by the way, especially artistically. Next, if you're like me, do you have art as your job? And do you have your art job plus another art business that you're doing like me too? And so if art is your job, yes, that is a big drain from you, okay? Is this your complete damnation though, and you're just screwed? Heck no, you're not. We'll discuss that soon again. But just so you know, that is the case. And then even if art isn't your job, do you do commissions or are you always doing artwork for other people? That's a big drain from you too. I know a lot of people that do requests. I know a lot of people that ship other characters. I know a lot of artists just like you that are doing commissions and freelance business like myself too, which by the way, if you want to learn how to do that the best, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe because I'm giving you the most actionable advice out here on YouTube. You'll find more content on how to do that best right here on this channel than any other channel on the entire platform. But if that is your case, yeah, that will take a lot of energy out of you because you're doing for other people and you need to fill your own cup too. Next, if you are stagnating, if you are always doing the same exact thing, you're doing the same exact genre, you're doing the same exact pose, you're doing the same exact type of character with the same exact type of clothing and the same exact type of lighting, is this you? Then you feel monotonous. Monotonous is cancerous to us, creatively and energetically. So that's definitely going to hit you too. And then, a lot of people don't talk about this, but honestly, every single time that you finish anything creatively, I mean literally finish it, that takes so much out of you. This is an effect I call creative recoil. I'm going to talk to you very specifically about that in a little while. And I want to let you know that that's not uncommon, and nor is it weird that when you finish a project, you just feel completely sucked dry, like a vampire just took everything out of you. And so those creative drains, you can address them really positively, but just know that they are gonna hit you. Now, what's gonna absolutely KO you? Or what's gonna give you a poison effect where you just watch your heart containers just whittle themselves all the way down to nothing? And the third category we gotta talk about is your mentality, friend. And so these ones, they're gonna sneak up on you or they're gonna whack you really hard. And here's what they are, and here's what you need to be aware of. The first energy drain we gotta talk about is avoidance, all right? And avoidance takes many, many forms. And so specifically, I'm talking about, are you procrastinating all the time? Are you the type of person who puts everything off? Because in avoidance, what you're doing though, is you're creating a debt for yourself, just to put it out there. You're creating a debt that accumulates in massive interest because you think that you can put off discomfort now and do discomfort more comfortably later, which obviously Never happens. That would be like keeping a tiger cub and saying, well, I'll get rid of it when it's an adult. And then you have to go ahead and try and relocate that thing, but you have to fight it off first. Next, monotony. And I mean this not just with your art, but I mean with your life. Are you the type of person who eats the same sandwich every day? You do the same thing every day? You nightcap the same way every single day? Your body, your mind hates monotony. It doesn't want to do the same thing. We weren't born into a world that is literally the same every single day. And so if you are creating a monotonous lifestyle, that can also drain you big time. Next, are you the type of person that is second guessing everything that they do? Well, I could create this comic, but it won't succeed. I could put myself out there for clients, but AI is out there. I want to go ahead and start my book, but I don't think that I'm good enough. And so second guessing yourself presents itself like you're doing the safe bet and you're doing the right thing because you're so smart. And so this is an issue because we've been thrown knowledge to this point where we think that we can always predict it. And so just as an FYI for you, there have actually been scientific studies, like one done by MIT, that has proven that 85% of the things that you fear happening never actually do. And out of the remaining 15%, only 5% of it actually happen half as bad as they actually do. And the other 10% don't happen, but don't happen anywhere near as bad as you think that they would. And so you second guessing yourself kind of puts you and feel like you're in the role of being the smarty pants, oh, I knew this was going to happen, when really you're just holding yourself back. Next, negative emotions always kill you too. And listen, negative emotions, I just want to reframe this for you here, especially if you're somebody that especially struggles on this note. Negative emotions are kind of like your check engine lights. They tell you that something's wrong, but you staring at the light and thinking about the light and never bringing it to a mechanic is never going to fix it. If you're somebody who's just entrenched in their negative emotions and you never try to do anything to move past them, because just to be honest, everybody feels negative emotions, myself included, okay? But if you choose to stay in them and don't try to go through them to overcome them, then that's gonna really KO you. Another thing is, do you lack focus? Do you sit down to draw, but you have your TV going and you have your phone blowing up and you have something going on in the background? I see this all the time with artists, and it's no wonder that you feel like you can't do anything because you're distracted and you're enveloping yourself in a distraction zone with cheap dopamine hits. That is gonna kill you. And then the last one is guilt. Are you somebody right now that's well, Sean, I feel like I'm too old. I feel like I've missed my chance at this. I feel like I've been working at this for so long and there's just no chance of me ever succeeding. That's guilt. Guilt will eat away at you. That's poisonous to you. It's cancerous to you. And so as I expose all these mentality concerns, you might be like, well, Sean, I have every single one of these. What do I do about that? Don't worry, I'm gonna teach you how to take care of this one. But it's not all bad because there are plenty of things you can do to regain that energy, and here's what they are. All right, so check it out. It's not all doom and gloom because here comes the counterattack. And so this is how you're gonna restore all of that energy. You're gonna gain excessive amounts too, so that you can really go ahead and slay some awesome art beasts that you want to. And here comes your art gains. And they're also separated into, similarly, 3 categories. So here we go. Physiologically, what are you taking care of? First and foremost, your rest. All right, now rest can take 2 different forms, everybody. They can, yes, be sleep, but you can't always let sleep be the issue. Because to be totally real with you, there's a lot of people that use sleep as an avoidance tactic as well. So in place of that too, do you just need to go ahead and take a nap sometimes? Or you can take what's called a waking rest. And this is when you sit down with absolutely nothing around you. And I mean specifically no phone, no computer, no TV, nothing. You were just sitting down and existing. And you just close your eyes and you just do that for about 20 minutes. This literally reboots your entire nervous system. And so if you do that and you just take a whole bunch of deep breaths just for 10, 20 minutes, you will feel refreshed. This allows your brain to do a similar process to what it does when it actually sleeps. And this is called waking rest. Next, physical activity. Definitely gonna supercharge you, okay? I want you all to think about your body like a battery that is rechargeable, and it expands its capacity as it continues to be pushed, okay? So a lot of times, for me, I'll be like, oh, I'm so brutally tired today, there's just no way I could work out. And I'll be like, okay, let's just try it. Okay, let's just start something. And so for you, can you find like a 10-minute workout routine on YouTube? Can you go ahead and do some free weights? Can you go ahead and do some squats, push-ups, jumping jacks, jump rope, whatever you want? Can you go ahead and do some walks? Can you take a jog? Can you run? Do things that are free and easily accessible to you, most accessible, most enjoyable for you on that note. Next, proper nutrition. Again, you don't have to go ahead and be a health nut about this. You don't have to switch to keto, or do you have to be a vegetarian? But can you just eat a little bit more real food, like the outer edges of the grocery store, not the inner parts quite so much? And then again, too, like here's an easy one. Are you drinking water? Do you drink enough water? Because 70% of people, according to studies, walk around completely dehydrated. They're only drinking juice and they're only drinking soda, and that kills you. Your body is composed of water. You can't operate like that effectively. That's a big gain, y'all. And then again, are you getting outdoors? We're not meant to be indoors. We live an alien life compared to what our ancestors did, and what was good for them is what is good for us too, because we have that same programming. And so get outdoors a little bit more. Be inspired by this amazing world that we live in that inspires you. Don't just play a game or watch a show and be like, oh my God, this is so inspiring. That was inspired by the real world. Get out there and learn about it. Moving on, then are you socializing a lot? Are you going to put yourself out there? If you're somebody who's really shy or you're avoidant of other people, where can you do this safely? What are some groups you can join? What are some conventions or meetups, or let's say that you really like board games, go play board games with other people. There's lots of great things you can do that are socializing and not just you sitting down playing video games together. That is not a true socialization factor. I know people don't want to hear that, but it's true, in-depth socialization and bonding. Bonding is the key word here. The more that you do that, the more energized you're going to feel. The second category, once again, is you being creative and gaining hearts through this one. So what are we talking about here? First off, you challenging yourself so that you do different things, so that you apply your knowledge differently, or you have a different application for it. Variety is the spice of your creative life, y'all. And then on that same note too, what are you putting yourself through to learn new stuff? Maybe you can learn a new medium. Maybe you can learn a new program. Maybe you can learn how to go from drawing into painting and then from that into digital, or just try something totally outside your wheelhouse and try to sculpt. The more that you do that, honestly, yes, it is very draining, but it's very satisfying too, because your brain literally lights up at the reward of you doing new things. That's why people like to learn in place of actually doing. And however, though, it does provide you a little bit of a boost. And I would say to you that the more that you're doing and learning in your own artwork, the better you're going to feel about wanting to make more stuff. It's very inspiring for you. And then as well, too, for you that are only doing artwork for other people, what are you doing for your own artwork? Because you got to have that passion project. I know you have one. All artists do. There's no artist on this planet that doesn't have something that they dreamed of creating. So get on that. What is it going to be? Is it a game? Is it a novel? Are you going to create the next great household name of manga? Like, go ahead. Start it. It's worth it for you. Even if you just whittle away at it for like 20 minutes a day. Just the act of working towards it feels so good to you and will give you so much energy. Next, you being goal-oriented in your artwork is going to really light you up too. And so just to put this into perspective, like as you're watching me draw this commissioned artwork, as you watch me draw any of them, I don't just sit down and say, wow, hope I do good. No, I have very specific goals. I have very specific interests. If you've ever worked with me in my one-on-one mentorship, one of the things that I do is I help everybody identify 3 things that they want to pull out in every artwork. And I'll ask you, well, what's the focus of this? What's the mood of this? And what's your learning objective? And you being goal-oriented creatively will help you feel much better about A, the output of it, and then B, your process throughout it, because you have things to latch onto other than, is it good? Is it not good? And then lastly, on that note, tying into it, your growth. Like when you feel growth, that's amazing. That's phenomenal. And you might need some help with that. And if you do, by the way, you can find out all about my mentorship right down below in the description. So check that out. But go ahead and link up with other artists too. Go ahead and get in with a great community. Join my Discord server if you want to. We have wonderful, great people there. We host monthly challenges, all that stuff in the description as well. And you really got to get in with good people and better people than you so that you can grow and you can also grow your art energy. And third, now we got to talk about the biggest gains, which are your mentality. These are going to have a passive effect, and you're going to find that these are the most powerful ways for you to build resilience and for you to build yourself into an artist that can take and do anything. So first and foremost, we're going to find that all of these are polar opposites of what we already discussed in the mentality section for drains. So on the opposite end of you avoiding everything, you are going to become an action-oriented person. Yes, you will always have plenty of reasons to second guess yourself, to doubt yourself, to think that you can't do something. But here's the real core. You have to have evidence of it. And the only way you build evidence is through action. And this is when, I hate when people say this. This entire phrase is ludicrous. We've made this common term to be like, well, easier said than done. Oh, really? It's easier said than done? Then is it easy for you to continue the suffering you're going through right now every single day of your life? Because if it's not, then I don't think it is easier said than done. I know for a fact it's easier done than it is said. Because the more that you do, the less that you second guess, the less that you feel anxious, the less that you feel avoidant. Now, you might have looked at that massive list and been like, well, Sean, way too much is going on. And your list might look something like this, okay? And so here's what I want to let you know. Even if you have this massive list of everything, drains and gains, you're not going to ever get it to 100% gain and 0% drain. But here's what you can start to do. Start to take a look at what's your ratio, because your happiness is not determined by you only getting everything good and doing nothing bad. We all have to do things that aren't favorable for us and things that we have to do. But nonetheless, here's the way I want you to approach this is I want you to take a look at everything that's on the drain side and everything that's on your gain side and ask yourself, okay, what drains can I start to work towards? What can I start to address that's over there draining me so that I have room over here on the gain side? Again, if we gamify this, it's like you only have so many slots. Okay, you only have so much AP, and therefore you can only do so many things and have so many passive effects going on at the same time. And because of that, that is what allows you to remove from here and come on over here. And so that kind of reveals this. The way that you're going to do more is not by just doing more. That's a really false philosophy. The way you're going to do more is by doing less and by deleting the things in your life that are not important, that are not serving you. And so taking a look at those drains, they don't serve you. Everything on the gain side does directly serve you. And so what this built itself into as well is just the honest reality that these are all habits. And there are inevitably lots of good habits you can have and bad habits. But here's the fact. If you're trying to build good habits and only build more of them, that's not going to help you. It's going to make things worse. Because the underlying issue is that you need to address your bad habits. If you're not addressing your bad habits, it's like asking for a more powerful motor for your boat when it's already been stabbed through with a bunch of holes. You're not going to get to your destination faster. You're going to sink a lot faster and a lot more brutally, right? And the big thing I want to really address on this is that this is not about you being able to get even more gains and less drains in all aspects of your life. We all have responsibilities. We all have to work a job. We all have to make money to survive in this modern age. What I'm specifically going to address for you right now is just a simple fact that this has to be utilized in your free time because you are 100% in control of your free time outside of your responsibilities. Now, at this point, you might be wondering, Sean, why did you change outfits? Well, very simple, because my original video for this got destroyed, so here I am redoing it for you. And kind of one thing I want to drop on you right now is you might be thinking that you have burnout. You might be thinking that you feel like, man, everything is just horrendous right now, and maybe I don't want to be an artist, or maybe you're even so just cooked after doing an artwork that you can't go into the next one. Has this ever happened to you? Have you ever been like, well, Sean, I just finished this piece and I got this other one and I just can't do it? Or you might be thinking, well, I just finished up with this client. How am I supposed to jump in all the others? And this envelops itself into a little bubble that I've deemed creative recoil. And you probably never heard about it. And I want to warn you why this is actually worse than art burnout, what you think art burnout is. And to tell you all about that, go ahead and check out this video right here. I'm going to show you all about it. Thanks so much for watching. If this helped you, share with somebody that you know. See you next time.